Lucasfilm, you're killing me over here. So I did my response and thoughts on the Solo trailer that came out with the Super Bowl, and I said in that I didn't expect that I would have to talk about a fuller length one, because I expected if one was put out that it was basically just going to have more of what I already talked about and not be substantively different enough that it would change any of my feelings about what I saw, which, to reiterate, were largely positive. And then the trailer comes out and there is a whole bunch more that actually does impact my opinion, and mainly we get a fair bit more of the main thing we didn't get in that previous trailer, which is a better look at seeing and hearing young Han Solo himself, and that has changed my opinion. So part of me is like, well, does this render my first one completely moot? And I'm actually gonna leave that one up, because I feel like now I have a complete picture of what a smart marketing move that first one was. Because, and I even said this in that video, that trailer was really all about selling the vibe, some of the visuals, the feel of it. And that was a feel that, honestly, as somebody who not only didn't like The Last Jedi, but who has always been skeptical of this entire concept of a young Han Solo movie, I dug that vibe. I dug those visuals. So the movie actually pretty much got me onto its side, and without having to sell me on the much harder thing, which is this guy is now Han Solo. And now this trailer comes out and does show me more of Han Solo, and I'm reminded why I thought this was a bad idea. Now that sounds like I'm gonna say this guy sucks, he's a terrible Han Solo, and I'm not prepared to go there. I'm sure a lot of people are pointing out he doesn't really look like Harrison Ford, he doesn't sound like Harrison Ford, but honestly, I could care less. River Phoenix didn't look or sound like he could possibly conceivably grow up to be Harrison Ford, but he still worked in The Last Crusade with Indiana Jones. So, you know, I don't need him to look and sound identical. That's superficial. It'd be nice, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't care, ultimately. What I need is I need him to feel like the same character. I need the character to have the same voice. And when I say voice, I don't mean like sound like him. I mean the character has to exude the same presence. That's what I mean. As a character, narratively, when interacting with other characters, he has to be saying things in a way, again, not about matching voice, but saying things in a way that I believe Han Solo would say them. And sort of that's where we're not in a great place. Again, though, I don't really want to blame the actor, because I don't think a ton of this is his fault. Now, this is not me saying I'm sure he's good. He might not be. He might suck. But my problems with what I'm seeing here aren't really down to his performance. It brings me back to why I thought this was a bad idea in the first place. And maybe this just has to do with what I like about Han Solo in the first place, which is I like him being the cocky, fast-talking, you know, just playing very loose by the rules smuggler. I like him as that. I don't really want to watch a movie where eventually he'll become that. I wouldn't have minded a movie set before A New Hope. What I'm skeptical about is the idea that we're seeing it before he was what we saw and loved. So, you know, it's like, you know what it is? It's like that weird Russell Crowe Robin Hood movie where the whole thing is like about the Crusades and the things that drove him to become Robin Hood, and he never actually does any significant Robin Hooding. You know, the entire thing of Robin Hood, rob the rich, give to the poor, swashbuckling, well, hey, kind of adventure. We don't get any of that because it's an entire movie of explaining why he would later do that. But that is what everybody likes about it. So can we just have that? And maybe it's origin fatigue. Like, I'm not gonna say I never care about where characters come from, but honestly, I don't need to know. I liked him as he showed up, fully formed in A New Hope. Seeing him basically not there yet, not finished cooking in this more raw, free-form thing, I'm not gonna say it can't work, but like you've immediately lost my interest because this is not the Han Solo I care about. And it's not so much like I don't believe he could be like this. Fine, I could probably buy it. I'm sure they'll narratively justify it and everything, but it's just, this is not what I like about Han Solo. You are dangling Han Solo in front of me, but the version you're dangling in front of me isn't Han Solo as I love him. So, I don't know. It's one of those, and I'm sure this is going to be misinterpreted by some people, but like, I never want characters to change and evolve, but that's part of the problem with doing a prequel as opposed to a sequel. You can't go backwards and have a character change and evolve, because then you have to explain why they didn't have that growth that you put in there. You have to actually regress them to make them less fully formed than they were at the time that we already know them. So you almost have to actively make a character less complicated, less layered, less finished, less complete in order to do a prequel. Again, not always. There are some decent prequels out there. If I sat down with a team of archaeologists and had a month to dig through all the prequels that have ever been made, I'm sure I could find a few. But I think it's one of the inherent problems with prequels, particularly when you're not just setting things prior to events, but you're dealing with characters before the period in which we first met them. So the whole premise, and seeing him in this and hearing him talk and hearing him be like, I want to be a pilot. You know, I've been on the street since I was 10 and I've been pulling scams and I'm going to be the best there is. And I'm just thinking, you're a jerk. And you're a jerk who hasn't seen enough crap that, like, I'm okay with it. Because that was kind of Han Solo's shtick. He was kind of a jerk when we first met him, but he was a jerk who'd seen some stuff. So it felt legit. It's like, yeah, you've been through stuff. I get why you shoot first. And when you go younger than that, it comes across more like you're just kind of a cocky little shit, aren't you? So, yeah. Now, that said, all the stuff that I liked in the original teaser, I still like. The visuals look great. I love the sort of heisty, cantina-y vibe that I get from the whole thing. I enjoy all that. But, and again, I'm going to come back to, that was a real smart marketing move that they did that, because that trailer did what I said it would do, which was that trailer now made me kind of want to like this movie because I liked that trailer. And now I've got a new trailer, which I don't like so much. But I find myself looking for the reasons to still like it, because they, maybe not completely, but kind of mostly sold it to me when they had the trailer that had as little of Han Solo as possible. So I think that regardless of whether or not he's actually good in the part, regardless or not of whether he just sucks as an actor, I think they know that people are going to have a more visceral sort of not my Solo reaction to him. So I think it was just very calculated and in a smart way to just put out a trailer that showed him as little as possible, that feels fun, and then show him after that, and hopefully you don't lose as many people, because you get people like me who go, yeah, but that first trailer really did look fun and pretty. So if this had been the Super Bowl trailer that came out, I certainly wouldn't have been as positive on it as I was with the teaser trailer. But in the end, yeah, I mean, I'm probably still going to go watch this thing. I will say just myself, minor annoyance, because I'm sure it's just an action set piece. It's not particularly, you know, story relevant. I don't like that they showed us the spiky, tentacly, you know, Cthulhu Shub-Niggurath looking thing in the swirling vortex. I don't like that they showed us that. And that's not me saying that I don't like that it's there, but what was intriguing to me about that whole swirling thing was that I had no clue what it was. I'm like, this is new! And now I know, oh, it's hiding monsters. There's monsters in it. And I mean, that's not uncool, but you perfectly sold me on the, oh, I want to find out what that is. And now I feel like I kind of already know what it is, and now I don't care. So, nice work on that. So, that's me. After a very, I guess, about 12, 14 hours or so of being like, you know what? Maybe this could work. I get brought back down to earth, but not quite with a hard enough landing that it'll stop me from seeing this movie, because I did see enough that I liked in that first one and saw more of it in this one that I'll probably still go see this. And, you know, I love Star Wars and I want it to be good. And I want this movie to be good. I don't think it will be, but I would like it to be. So that is where I am and my thoughts on the full trailer for Solo, a Star Wars story. I'm really sorry that this is now 2 days in a row that I've put out 2 videos in the same day. I don't like doing that. I feel like I'm spamming people's subscription feeds when I do that. But, you know, I don't want to sit on these trailer responses, because then if I do, by the time I get something out, everyone's like, yeah, we've moved on. The conversation is done with this. So those are my thoughts on the full version of the trailer for Solo, a Star Wars story. What are your thoughts? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. There's all those things for you to do. Check out Patreon, Twitter, my podcast. Links for all this stuff is down below. And until next time, this council is adjourned.